this is Grace Maher with OTR Capital here tonight with Delmard of RDL Trucking for another segment of our YouTube Live, How to Jumpstart Your Trucking Company. Tonight we're talking about dream teams, drivers, dispatchers. I'm thrilled to have you here again, Delmard, as usual.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be back.
Tell us a little bit about yourself again.
16 years I've been doing this already. I've mastered the trucking part of it, the dispatch, the trailer part. Check out the old videos. I got more stuff in detail on what I do, but just know this is what I do. I live and breathe trucking.
And we've been working together for how long?
About 7, 8 years, ain't it?
Yeah, well, we're coming up on our 10-year anniversary this summer.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's major to be in this type of business, to have that longevity.
Well, we're lucky.
Yes.
But we're really lucky to work with carriers and clients like yourself that we've worked with for years, dispatchers. It's been an amazing ride. Today, freight rate's incredible.
Yes, we need it.
Doing so well.
Yes,
our clients, giving them freight options and rates and that sort of thing. Everybody is doing awesome. Freight is great.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of phone calls about it. Everybody excited because January was a little slow for us. So, you know, it's only going to get better from here.
Oh, it's going to be a great year.
The rates are great.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk also about this $2,021 we're going to give away.
Yeah, I got so many people that hit me in the inbox like, is the check real? Are they really giving this money out? I'm like, yeah.
Well, come on. You were at Happy Trucking New Year last year. We gave away $2,020
last
year.
I was trying to win it too, so yeah.
Yeah. So we won't be giving it away necessarily tonight, but we will be printing that check and we are going to be giving it away.
There we go.
You know, so tonight we're giving away, value in other ways.
Oh yeah, no doubt. This is stuff that's you can't pay for.
Drivers, and is there a shortage?
First of all, it is hard to find good quality drivers. It's not a shortage in drivers. We're competing with the big companies right now. Everybody and their grandma then jumped into trucking, trying to make money. COVID hit, trucking was still moving, and everybody said, you know what? Let's go get a truck and let's go get a trailer.
Right.
They got this PPP money. They tapped in their 401k. They pulling money and resources from everywhere just to get in trucking. We competing with those guys. They're overpaying a lot of drivers right now.
Go back to the PPP.
Okay.
I keep hearing people talking about PPP, getting loans.
Yes.
Should you not? Should everyone take advantage of this?
You know what? I can say you should take advantage of it, but at the same time, you got to be responsible with it. What's your plan when you get this money? And once you have a plan, you got to have a return, because otherwise you're going to end up not being able to pay this money back when it's time to pay.
Right.
So have a plan before you get this money. A lot of people taking money and they squander it because they don't understand the business. A truck and trailer is not going to make you a millionaire, even if you got $200,000 or $300,000 in the bank.
Right.
All you're going to do is keep pinching from it until you can't pay it back, or you have this game plan that doesn't work out and they want their money.
Well, so talk about a little bit. You're saying that drivers are overpaid right now.
Yes.
Signing bonuses. Do you do them? I
do them now. I'm competing with a lot of people that I've never seen in this field before.
Right.
It's a little annoying, but at the same time, I'm up for it. I'm competitive. So I had to be creative and come up with a sign-on bonus. You got the Swifts. You got all these other guys that have the best equipment. They got the best medical. They got the best bonuses. They got so many things that I don't have. I have to kind of step my game up now to try to compete with those guys and everybody else who got a PPP loan. Right. Anybody else that tapped into their 401k. The world seen trucking moving, and they decided to put all their money in there. I'm competing with those guys who paying these guys $2,000 and $2,500 a week, and they drove 1,700 miles.
Well, what qualifies a great driver to you? Like, how do you hire your drivers?
Well, you got to have enough experience for me, first of all. 3 years. I've dealt with guys who have less. It could be it's a headache. These guys don't. Well, I'm not knocking everybody who has 1 year experience. Just from my own personal experience, they don't know how to slide tandems. They have a hard time with directions. Even the insurance saying that they're more liable to have an accident. So in order to come drive with me, you got to have 3 years experience. And you got to know how to communicate too as well. If you have any issues, communicate. Let me know what's going on so I can help you make the money you want to make.
Right. What about carriers or drivers that have registered for their own authority? Mm-hmm. They need to let it bake for a little bit.
Okay.
We all know what that means, and they want to come drive for you.
Okay, I had those guys before. They come over with their own particular, they have their own motives. That they can come over here and snatch some of the freight, or they try to pick your brain the first day. It's like, hey man, hold up. I don't. First of all, you got to have a date at the end, a beginning date and an end date on when you start and ending with me. It ain't gonna be 2 months. I can give you 6 months. And you wanna learn some stuff, I'm here. But you're not gonna come over and the first day we're on the phone for a whole hour because you wanna know my whole setup. Like, hey, that sounds like we need to do a little setup packet over here, consultation or something. This is, if you want that, that's on the other side. Catch me on my IG. But I'm not gonna sit there and walk you through the whole business on this. It's just not gonna work.
Yeah.
So those guys, I try to stay away from. If you wanna run your own business, run it. But don't come over here trying to run it with me so we can partner up. Now you wanna merge the authorities and the trailers and the trucks together. Next night you telling me I should do this. Hey, hold on, man. This is my business.
But Delmard, how hard is it to find a carrier or a driver with 3 years experience? And where are you finding these drivers?
Okay, social media. It's difficult. Social media, you have to be creative. Social media, you can go to the truck stops, you can go to these low boards, but Indeeds and all these other places like that. You got to be creative in getting these drivers. I've had guys. The bonuses are really getting people to bite right now.
Okay.
You know, I'm not giving everybody the bonus up front. Like it might be $1,000. I'm not giving you $1,000. You're not walking up here and saying, "Hey, I'm hired, and I'm cutting your check for $1,000, and you get paid the next following week." I'm gonna give you $250 here, $250 there, $5 on the backside, and I get monthly bonus too. So that's how I'm kind of reeling these guys in. And I'll tell them, look, if your dream is to be an owner operator and have your own authority, I'll walk you through a few things to kind of show you how to build this business. I take that. That's another way, because a lot of guys want to be into trucking, they want to own, their own thing. So I kind of lure them in with that.
Do most drivers have the intention of going out and getting their own authority?
Most of them do, but half of them don't have what it takes, to be honest with you.
Right.
They have no direction.
Well, because it's running a business. It's
It
not
is.
just, driving a truck is time consuming enough. And then running it yourself, there's a lot more to it.
It's way more to it. These guys think, oh, I'm gonna just get the truck, I'm gonna do what you're doing, man, I'm gonna be successful. I make it look easy. I'm up every morning, anywhere from 5 to 6:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
planning for them,
Right.
thinking about them.
24/7.
24/7. I'm emailing at night. I'm answering the phone when the broker calls back 7 times because you didn't want to communicate with me on you getting held up. So
Right.
I got to communicate to the broker. So this is a hard job.
Absolutely. The ATA says that driver turnover for small carriers is close to 73%.
73?
That's wild.
That's a
Why
lot.
do drivers always jump in ship?
Okay. The grass is greener. They think that they talking amongst each other. They's like, hey man, my buddy got a sign-on bonus of $2,000, or they got the new 2021 Freightliner. They killing it over there, man. They got the best loads, and they jump. They don't have no loyalty to you. As soon as you do something that they don't like, they leave it. It's like, hey man, I need to get home at 5 p.m. to see my favorite game show. I don't want to drive for you no more. I'm like, what? You leaving off the game show, bro? That's what it took? Like, that's what they leaving on. Some of the simplest stuff.
It's just commonplace in the industry. You're just leaving your...
Right now, because there's so many people offering so much stuff, these drivers having fun. They just jumping ship because they can. People are so desperate for drivers, they'll say anything to get them, and those drivers are running.
So what tips do you have? How do you retain good drivers?
What I'm trying to do, because even I struggle with this, but it is working in my favor a bit here. Communicate with the guys, right? Get an understanding. First of all, before you hire him, see how many jobs he had before he got to you, and figure out why he left that other company. It's like, okay, hey, I do a verification employment. I ask the driver, hey, buddy, why did you leave the last company? He or she may say something like, yeah, we had a disagreement with the communication, man. They ain't understand how I like to run.
Right.
I'm like, okay, all right. So I send a verification in. They may say something different, like this guy was a butt. He didn't never want to run, so I match it up, put them together. I say, hey, buddy, they told me that, you didn't like to run, you want to be home on weekends. What was this all about? So I'm venting them out, trying to figure out what's the truth in that. So I can figure out, do I even want to hire this guy? Based off of their verification employment, I may say no to you.
Right.
You didn't have 9 jobs in 1 year, brother. I'm your 10th. I don't think I'm in the magic number. It's something about you that's having you jumping ship on all these other companies. So I'm gonna say no to them.
How much do you try and accommodate a driver and their schedule? Like, I want to be home every weekend. I need to be home by 7. I don't want to be out longer than a week. When they come on with you, do you go ahead up front and say, this is how you're running?
Yes.
And does everybody do that?
Yeah, all of them have these special little things they got. It's like, I don't like heavy loads. I don't like driving at night. I don't like to go to this shipper because they take too long. Hey, I like the 2019 trucks when I drive. like an automatic. You know, I'm like, hold up, man. This is not a meal. You're not going to McDonald's. Shout out to McDonald's though. You're not going to McDonald's to get an order. Like, but at the same time, trucking is trucking here. I'm gonna cater to you as much as I can. But guess what? I can't get you the light load because it's all heavy loads today on the load board. It's all heavy loads that's been given to me today. So give me a break. Can you take this heavy load? So I try to cater as much as I can, but sometimes trucking is trucking, and there's nothing we can do about it. So yes, I do cater as much as I can, but you can't have it your way all the time.
What do you think is the longest you've kept a driver for? Like, how long can you expect a driver to stay with Delmard?
You want to be honest?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I tell people all the time, if I get a good 6 months out of a guy, because what happens is they'll see me and they say, oh, yeah, this guy is killing it, man. I can do it too. And if I don't talk to them about my business and how I'm running it, they feel like, oh, you don't want the brother to succeed. You don't want me to do this, or why you hiding your secrets, man? And I want to talk to you on the side about stuff. I'm running my business. I don't have time to mentor you on something that you didn't even want in the beginning.
Right.
If you would have been up front in the beginning, we could have talked that out. But you didn't do that. You sat back and you waited. You're like, oh man, this guy could fill his tank up full of gas. I want to do the same thing. I'm like, well, hold on, man. If you want that, we could pull this to the side. I can talk to you through. So 6 months is what I'm getting out of these guys, to be honest with you.
I mean, that's real deal honesty. 6 months is...
6 months.
Oh,
And it's me tap dancing a lot of times, just kind of
Right.
figuring them out. They're not honest in the beginning. They're not saying, hey, Delmard, I like to be home at Friday. I want to be off on the weekends. I don't want to come in early on Monday. They're not saying these things, and they just expect you to know it. So that growing pain of 2 or 3 weeks, 4 weeks of learning the guy, it's just like, I'm just like running around like, oh, I don't know. I didn't know he didn't like something over 30,000 pounds.
Right.
I didn't know that he'd like to communicate with the shipper. Like, you know, it's like, hey, man, hold up. As you learn them, you learn that you do a lot of tap dancing. And drivers know it. They know it.
Right. Well, I'm not surprised. I like my statistics.
Yeah.
So 15% of drivers leave within the first 30 days of starting with a new trucking company. And 35% leave within the first 90 days.
Dang.
Yeah, it is a lot of turnover. So if you're
I can
out there and you're
believe it.
newer, I mean, it's frustrating, but it's not abnormal.
That's horrible. Doing the numbers.
No, I know, but
And that's the thing. We are competing with the big people, and it's exhausting. I try my best to be professional as possible. Offer these guys the things they said that I said I was going to do for them. I do it, and it's just so difficult. I don't know. It's frustrating. I feel the pain of everybody else. I don't have the magic wand on telling you how to keep them longer, but I can give you great suggestions. Because once you do it, you realize that these drivers know that they got it. The ball's in their court. They know it too. They know it.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about ELDs and how they can keep a record of driver performance. How much do you look at that? How much does that play into driver bonuses or driver? Do you utilize that?
I do utilize it. You know, I get the alerts, you know, keep trucking. They send me stuff, and I just kind of reach out to them and say, hey, bro, you got some hard braking, man. What's going on? He's like, I'm in heavy traffic. I was like, look, be safe as possible. You know, I'm not saying it was your fault, but keep in mind, like, if something do happen and they see all this braking hard and accelerating hard and jerking and rolling of the truck a little bit, these things can play a part in it. If something happened, they go back and say, man, you're an unsafe driver. You're unfit.
Right.
So I do give those pep talks. I got a little alert on my phone when you go over a certain speed. I had a couple guys like, hey, I'm going down the hill, man. I can't help it. I'm doing 90. Yes, the hell you can. You control the truck.
Right.
The truck doesn't control you. Put your foot on the brake, man. Pull that brake down on the side of your wheel right there. Matter of fact, drop that thing in another gear there. Slow that thing down. If you let the truck drive you, you're probably going somewhere you don't want to go.
Right.
So don't tell me that.
But do you think that trucking companies, they utilize that? Like, would that be something that in the past year or two with this new information that people are utilizing to keep drivers more incentivized to drive safe or to retain them? Do you think people are giving out bonuses for driver behaviors?
They are, but that's another way of trying to grab a driver's attention to kind of keep them,
Right.
you know. But some guys, I feel like you micromanaging. I'm like, man, you watching me, you know, the braking every day is something new. It's the speed yesterday, it's the brake today, and it's the gas tomorrow. I'm like, listen, man, I just want you to be safe when you're doing your job. You're a professional. I'm just bringing it to your attention. That's all. You're doing a great job, brother. You got there on time yesterday. You know, you're working towards your bonus at the end of the month. I just want you to do it safely. They waiting on you when you get there. Let's just do it safe while you're going.
What advice do you have for someone new that just got their CDL, that wants to start driving, that does want to eventually start their own trucking business and is starting out? Like, as a driver, what advice do you have for them? Should they try and stay with someone for a while regardless?
Yes, I think you should stay with someone. Learn the game. I didn't get to where I'm at because I was eager to get out of the truck and be an owner. I did my due diligence. I paid my dues. You have to do the same thing. You can't fast track this. There's no way fast track. You're gonna make a lot of mistakes and cost yourself a lot of money, and you'll be out of business as fast as you started. So take your time. If this is your long-term goal, research this thing, learn it. The best thing I ever done was take my time. I drove with Swift for 7 years. Y'all can check out the other videos too as well. I learned a lot by working with them, and I learned how hard I can drive, the best times I like to drive, the truck, what it does, what it doesn't do. All these things helped me become the person I am today because I paid my dues and I took my time. You too will get here too, but don't fast track it.
Delmard, how'd you get into trucking?
Oh, that's okay. That's what we doing?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, at the time I was 22, and I was like, hanging out a lot and partying, and I lost my little job at Walgreens. Shout out to Walgreens. I don't want to work for you no more, Walgreens. Just so you know that. I don't want to sponsor you either. Do we? I'm just joking. But no, seriously, I was working with them, and I decided I needed something new. My mom drove, my father-in-law, a lot of other people around me drove, and I was like, you know what? I think I could do this. I got in the truck. I went there, found it in the newspaper. I went to the newspaper and I called the first number. It was Swift. Swift called me back, sent me to Milton, Tennessee. I packed my stuff up, went up there and went to truck driving school, and I was the worst backer in the whole class. The worst. The driving range guy, what do you call the guy? The guy who was on work on the yard.
You were the worst one backing up.
Yes, I was the worst. He said, if I could fail you, I would. But I can't fail you because it's truck driving school. I was like, man.
What do you mean? You can't fail out of truck driving school?
No, because it's a school they learn it. I was good at everything else. I was just the worst. I was just knocking the cones down. They would split them cones up and put them about 10 feet. I found a way to run over them doggone cones. I was terrible. Then the fact that he told me if I could let you go, I would. I'm like, why did you even tell me that? I didn't even ask you, am I doing better? You just randomly came over there and was like, hey man, if I could fail you, I would. I'm like, okay. And I was just looking like, what the hell? Like, then I was like, I was just like, I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna do better at this. So when I did get in the truck, I bust my tail. I got on an account that had like 12 stops a day, and I learned how to back up really quickly because my mentor was on me. Then Corey Dubos, what up, Corey? He was like, man, I'm gonna show you how to back up. I'm the best at this, and he really did. And I backed up every day. No cone hitting. There was cars around me, and he was yelling at me, told me, man, you want to do this? And it was a lot of pressure. And eventually, I got it. So once I got with Swift and I didn't tear up stuff, or which I did the second week, I hit a fence going into Walmart.
No.
Yes, you used to keep the fertilizer stuff out front. I turned in. This is my 7th stop. I turned in there, and I almost cleared the fence. Man, at the end, the wheel caught it. It wasn't me. The wheel had grabbed the fence, bent the hell out of it, just like a little L. I seen it, and I just kept driving.
No.
This guy come around the side. He worked for Walmart. He's like, "Hey, buddy,
Did you know you hit it?
I know he hit it.
Oh.
But
And you kept going?
But it didn't look that bad though. It was still keeping the stuff inside the fence.
Right.
So I'm like, what? So it ain't gonna hurt nobody if the soil's still in there. So I go around the corner. He's like, hey buddy, you hit that fence. I'm like, what? Yeah, you hit it, and I seen you do it. I was like, oh man, I didn't even know I did it. We got you on camera. I'm like, oh man, you really got me on camera, man. I didn't even know, man. I'm so sorry. Well, you gonna have to wait till the cops get here. I'm like, okay. And I was like, oh God, I'm gonna get fired. I didn't get fired. Shout out to Swift. Thank you for not firing me either.
Yeah, it's a small mistake. And compared to what we've seen, that's nothing.
I didn't know that at the time. I'm just thinking it's my second week.
Did you feel terrible?
I felt bad.
Right.
I wanted to go back and straighten that pole out, but I couldn't. But I want to rerun it over so I can bend it back. I don't know. I felt so bad. But they didn't fire me, and I just kept pushing. I said, you know what? I'm going to pay attention when I get in tight places. And I did. I just kind of put my antennas up. And I said, anytime in tight spaces, I'm just going to crawl around things real slow, drop it in that low gear, y'all. Hit that 1 gear. You shouldn't be going in those shippers and these Walmarts in 2nd and 3rd gear. You don't know if anybody kids are running out. Right. You don't know if somebody don't see you, and you end up hitting them. So keeping that low gear and that 1st gear, that's everything, y'all.
Safety first.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if we put some cones outside and get your truck, You got this?
Oh, I got it now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you got to keep them 10 feet apart, though.
Oh, okay. You're right. That's
But
right.
yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about drivers and barrier to entry. It's not hard to get in this. Like we just said, you get a CDL, you can start driving.
Yeah.
Have you had any issues also, like any crazy stories with a driver just leaving you?
Oh.
They can't drive, they're in a terrible situation.
Yes, I done had some guys call in. I got the call in guys. They're like, hey, man, I was in a car accident, and I can't make it. And I was like, oh, okay, I hope everybody's cool. I say, okay, can you send me some pictures of the damage? Because I need to know. I mean, don't tell me that. I had guys tell me that, somebody died in their family.
Right.
I'm just like, let me see that obituary, bro. No,
Delmard.
I need to see
Delmard.
it. I need to see it. I'm not saying, I tell them, I'm so sorry for your loss. I need a glimpse at it. Look, if you told me you were sick, I need to see the medical. I need to see like a little sign off from the doctor. Yes, that's all I'm saying. I ain't say I don't believe you. Just confirm it.
I would like.
Just hit me with that.
I would like a
obituary.
little proof.
A little proof. It's free. They gotta pay for it. I'm just saying. I need proof. Yes, have I had those issues? Absolutely. But I need proof when you telling me that you can't come to work. So I haven't had anybody abandon loads, anything like that. They just have all this crazy stuff like, hey, I woke up, they ain't feel too good. I said, man, hold up. Your throat hurting? If you can call me, you can drive. You don't need your throat to drive this truck, man. You better get behind this wheel, bro. I got money on the line. Do I need to send you this rate con so that you can see that I need to take this out your check? No, you don't want that because that's how much money I'm losing. So you'll come and cough, I can get you some Robitussin. What you need, some NyQuil? Well, some Dayquil. I'm gonna give them NyQuil. I'm just saying, like, what you need to get behind this wheel. This ain't good enough for me.
So you're tough.
I'm
real
tough.
Is everybody need to be that tough if you're running a trucking business?
Well, you need to be sensitive to their needs, at the same time be firm, because we're small and we don't have that much capital coming in. We're dependent on you. We're dependent on you, and we don't have 50,000 trucks. We got 5. We got 2. We got 1, and we need them to do what they're supposed to. If you want me to pay you on Friday, I'm gonna need for you to drive for me so you can get that check on Friday. Will I pay you on Friday? Absolutely. But you give me that commitment that I'm looking for, I give you the commitment that you want from me.
All right, let's pause for a second. Let's do a little trivia. That's all amazing.
Okay.
We've talked about drivers. I want to put Delmard on the spot for a minute.
Okay, let's
All
do
right.
it.
So there are the top 10 bottlenecks, trucking bottlenecks, traffic around the country, the top 10 cities, top 10 places.
Okay.
Do you think Atlanta made that list?
Yes.
Do you think Atlanta made that list more than once?
Yes.
How many times do you think Atlanta made the top 10 list of bottlenecks?
3.
How'd you know that?
I guess for real.
Yeah, you really did.
Okay.
That's incredible.
Let's go.
3 times. All right, let's take this a little further. Can you name one of those bottlenecks?
No.
Come on.
No. I don't have
All right.
any.
I-285 at I-85
Okay.
north.
75.
Yes. At
What? Like
yeah, like it's
Stockbridge.
285, 75 and 285
Okay,
north.
and 400. Can you count 400?
It's I-20 and 285
Okay.
west. All this 285.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's
terrible.
It's yeah. But Atlanta made it 3 times out of 10.
I guess they're right. It's terrible here.
Right.
Everybody want to move here. We love y'all, but
Ooh.
you can stay where you at, wherever y'all at.
We've got people here. Hey, Ashley, Gary, Renee, Daryl, Outlaws in the house, J-Mac. If you've got questions or comments or you want to ask Delmard anything, myself, I'm here. He's here. We would love to hear from you. So just send your comments. Let's see. Let's move to dispatching.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Why hire a dispatcher? If you're an owner-operator, do you need a dispatcher?
It depends. Some of these owner-operators don't like backroom paperwork. If that's you, get yourself a dispatcher company. If you don't like communicating with the brokers and the shippers and co-signees, get yourself a dispatcher company. Communication is everything when you get your own authority. If you don't like doing those things, hand it off to somebody else.
Right.
Don't think, oh, I'm giving away 6%, 8%, and I can keep it for myself. Communication helps you grow your business. Sending an email back, communicating with the brokers when they're calling you, tell them that you got detention. These are things that dispatchers do for you. Now, if you don't like doing those things, pass it off to somebody else. But, yeah.
I've got a term for you.
Okay.
Mission Impossibles.
Mission Impossible?
Do you know what that means?
No.
Those are the loads where nothing can go wrong. There is no room for error.
Okay.
How often are you dispatchers putting carriers on there?
Well, I try my best not to do that, you know, but it's tempting though. I try my best because it puts too much stress on me and the driver. And what's going on is they are more likely to have an incident or accident of some type because there is pressure. But if you put a little dollar amount on that thing, it's like, look, bro, I can put $200 or $300 extra in your pocket if we can make this happen. But I need you to do it as safe as possible. I try to stay away from those as much as possible. I really do. But it's so tempting because the load is hot and they're willing to pay you $600, $700, $800 more just to get it delivered.
How do you know you're getting the most out of your dispatcher?
Okay, well, before you even hire them, you need to vet them. Make sure that, ask them how long they've been doing it. Can you talk to some of their drivers? Can you figure out who the best rates? Do you have a book of business already? You can ask these type of things to make sure that this dispatcher is on point, because you got a lot of people starting dispatching companies right now. They don't know what empty miles is, bobtail. They can't tell you where to go grab a load from, and you putting your livelihood in their hands.
There's a lot of great dispatchers out there, so many, and you're talking about vetting them. Do they need to have driven themselves?
No, not necessarily. No, it helps a whole lot because they can really connect to you what's going on your day to day. But there's some great dispatchers out here who never drove, actually driven ever before, and they can do a really good job. But make sure you vent them. They vent you. They ask you how long you've been driving. They ask you what kind of truck you got, what kind of trailer you got. They ask all these questions. You could do the same thing to them. Can I talk to some of your drivers? Can I talk to some of the drivers you dispatch? What's your oldest driver that you've been dispatching? How long has he been there with you? Oh, 2 years? Great. Can I speak to him? Okay. Well, what kind of business you got? Can I look at some of the loads you got? Okay. Do you understand how to slide a tandem? Do you understand how the weight goes on here? Do you understand? You can ask them questions just like that. They professional, you professional. Ask them the same stuff about them. You're not going to interview. They ain't interviewing just you. You interview them.
Do you have to lock into a contract with your dispatcher for an extended period of time?
Well, most of them are offering it now.
Right.
Because I feel like you don't want he or she to say something and don't, actually do it at the end. I think having something on paper always is just a great way of making sure nobody take advantage of each other. If you told me you're going to pay me on Friday because I decided to quit 2 weeks, but after this, you don't want a verbal. You don't want a handshake. Put something in writing so I know it's real.
Should a dispatcher find all of your freight, or can you be a carrier and they find some of your freight and then you find some of your freight too?
Well, some of them offer that and some of them don't. If you're good at finding freight and you just didn't have enough time to do the back office dispatching, you can ask the dispatching company, is it okay that I can kind of find some stuff every now and then or help you? I may see something you don't know. I may know somebody you don't know. So that's between the dispatcher and the carrier, but it's actually something you can do if they allow it.
I mean, a great dispatcher will minimize your empty miles and maximize your profits.
Absolutely.
They're going to keep you moving.
Yes.
So, but a good dispatcher, should they be able to get you home based on your schedule and what you want and all your preferences? I mean, at that point.
Absolutely. You work for me.
Right.
All right. I'm asking you to get me home on Friday. Can you make it happen? If you're good at what you say you do, you've been doing it for a while, or you haven't, come through. I'm going to do my part. I'm going to get there on time. I'm going to communicate with you. I'm going to be safe about it. Whatever you request from me, I'm going to do it. So I'm going to need for you to come through for me when I ask you to get me back home on Friday. If you're having a hard time, I need you to work harder. I may not get the best rate I want coming back to get home,
right,
but can you get me back home so I don't burn my fuel? At least give me something to cover the fuel.
That's great information, Delmard. So another question. What do drivers not understand about dispatchers? Like, what's the biggest misconception about a dispatcher?
That we don't understand how it works. And I tell them, I've driven. I understand exactly what you're going through. I know you're tired. You got your 10-hour break. I didn't know how many hours you need. You need 14 or 16? I don't know. You hibernating back there, man? I thought 10 hours is legally. Let's go. Mm-hmm. Now, I understand that you need rest. I understand that you don't want the heaviest loads. But we got to wake up in the morning and think about, I'm just going to make a name up, John. John doesn't like heavy loads, right? So I got to stay away from the heavy loads. Timothy doesn't like driving at night. I got to make sure I don't give Timothy loads that deliver at night. Tom doesn't like to go down to Procter & Gamble because Procter & Gamble is slow. And y'all are slow, Procter & Gamble down at Fairburn. But just be honest. These things you got to cater for the drivers because they understand that, if you don't get me, this ain't going to work. So you're going to have to do a lot of that. Planning, for sure. So I've got a question here. I want to pause and ask you a quick question.
Let's go back to the drivers really fast. Would it be easier to just let people lease onto your own authority?
It could be easy. At the same time, you got to make sure that driver is safe, right? Because you can get anybody. He could be a renegade. Heavy foot John gets on your authority, and he just like wrecking. He going through the scare house doing $150. You know, that looks bad on your name. He cutting people off, and they getting on that, putting reviews on your thing. The heavy foot John just cut them off on 280 traffic. You know, so you got to be careful when you adding these people to your authority because they can ruin your good name. They can jack your premium up on your insurance.
Right. That's the biggest risk.
It is. It's the biggest risk of putting them on there. It's not about the money. You got to think long term. Is this guy safe? Does he communicate? Does he like to send his paperwork each day, or do he like to come bringing his paperwork in every 2 weeks?
Right.
Then you can look at the paperwork. He missing 6 of the pages. You know, like, hold up, man. You're going like, it's 2 or 6, brother. You gave me 2 pages and a blank one. What are the other 4 pages at? I get these guys to send me the pages in each day.
Well, you know, Marquis Insurance Group, our sister company.
Yeah.
One of the issues that we see all of the time is the renewal of insurance and how hard it can be, whether there were claim issues or the driver turnover. How do you mitigate that? Like, how do most people realize how hard it can be to renew insurance if you do not grow the right way or if turnover is too high?
It's difficult when it comes to that because people think about money all the time. And think about if the insurance company allow me to put 5 drivers on there, 5 trucks, I'm doing it. But then you don't understand the risk you just put yourself in because now you're dealing with guys who probably are not communicating, they're rushing, you don't have nothing implemented in place so it can help you with the growth. I went through the same thing. The first year I added 3 trucks was a disaster. I did it because I was at another company and I was managing, but they did the backroom stuff. When I got my authority, I took on all of it and I thought I could do it. Man, when I tell you these guys was not sending the paperwork, they forgot to put the detention on there, and I was just like, oh, hold up. I was just kind of trying to run and keep up with it. It was so much. And what happened was I wasn't paying attention to the safety part of it because all of it was too much. The insurance companies, they are put in place now to make sure that you don't add too many trucks on there because they know that you're going to be overwhelmed with new stuff that you're not even realizing. Thank God for y'all because it slowed me down and say, I need to put this in place, the safety stuff. I need to put this in place. And so over time, I was able to implement different things to make sure that the growth wasn't too fast and it didn't get out of hand.
You're leading me to the next best question.
Okay.
So you talked a little bit about dispatching and growing. How much should the dispatcher know about compliance, safety, insurance, and your growth?
They need to know a lot.
Okay.
They need to know all of it because I don't need somebody dispatching me if you don't understand that I need to take a break today or I'm exhausted. What happens is it's a disconnect between, like, I get it because sometimes you just wore out. The road beat you up. The fact that you had to go through Atlanta traffic and it took you additional 2 hours, you just wore out. I need that dispatcher to understand I don't want to load tomorrow. I'm taking a break at the little truck stop. I got a bunch of points on my card and I'm about to use all of them. It's a little card on there. You can use the points, by the way. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
My points games used to be real strong. Yeah, I never spent it. And when I used to just shut down, I go in there and just go ball out.
You get the points for like showers
Yeah.
and discounts.
Like the shower was cheap. I go and get Doritos and Snickers and stuff.
Yeah, right.
I swipe out.
Yeah.
And Sprites and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, just put it all in the back, be a kid.
What'd you really treat yourself with?
No, all that. What you talking about? Skittles and everything.
Snickers?
Yeah, no, not just Snickers, just Skittles and everything.
Oh, okay, all right.
You know, I would just have a ball in the back in there.
Yeah, treat
but it's
yourself.
times where you want to just take a break.
Right.
The dispatcher should understand that. They should know all things compliant when it comes to trucking.
When the ELD came out and hours of service and logging and all of this, how much did that change the game in dispatching for how much they needed to be aware of what time the drivers have left? Was this a scramble, or for the most part for years everybody was trying to keep up with that?
Well, we knew it was coming. So if you were a good dispatcher, you already did your homework and understood that if you want to stay in business, you didn't learn the compliance part of it. So if you're a good dispatcher, you understand that the driver needs this, that, and that. And a lot of times these guys don't know the back room stuff, and your job is to know that. He left another company just to get his own authority, but he don't want to do the back room stuff. Right. Your job is to know all that stuff for him. And along the way, teach him and show him. Because if he blind and you blind, it's blind leading blind.
Right.
He gonna be out of service real soon, and you lose that revenue.
Do dispatchers keep you out of the weather?
The good ones do. The greedy ones probably send you right into that snowstorm. Like, I didn't know it was a snowstorm. Like, it's a snowstorm of the year. They just sent you right over there. Now you fighting it with chains on.
Well, maybe you call your driver and you're like, hey, do we want to go into Armageddon or not? You
Right.
know, I mean, maybe I want to go.
Right, that's a good dispatcher. They say, look, it's gonna be rough weather in 2 days. I know you ain't checking the weather.
Right.
You just want to be safe and get there. I seen this. I'm gonna throw this out here now. Weather looking real rough, but they paying us to do it. Are you ready to sit this one out? You ready to go?
Right.
A good dispatcher would do that.
How often do dispatchers get paid by the carriers once they complete the loads? Like, is that weekly? Is that month? How does that work?
It's normally weekly.
Right.
This is normally weekly. I heard y'all.
Yeah, so
what did y'all got?
We were leading in there, so most people don't realize that we work with a lot of dispatchers at OTR Capital. And one of the great services that we offer is if your carriers are with OTR, we actually can pull the dispatch payment from the invoices that they factor and pay the dispatcher directly. So no more do you have to wait for the carrier to pay direct or figure out how to bill. We will actually pull that and pay the dispatchers direct for the carriers.
So did y'all take the money? So you'll pay me and pay them?
Mm-hmm. On the same day. So everybody fills out an agreement. We understand the terms that you've worked out with your dispatcher. That's all between you guys. You tell us how much money comes out of each invoice. We pull it out. We pay the dispatcher direct. Carrier gets paid what they're supposed to. Everybody's happy.
That's smart.
Yeah. We added that about a couple years ago. That was
just 2 years ago. I didn't know that. But I don't have a dispatcher service. I don't know.
So
yeah.
not anymore.
I am dispatch.
Let's talk about the challenges of being a dispatcher. Biggest challenges of being a dispatcher.
Biggest is the drivers want the best rate on every single load. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
I'm not going to get you the best load, best paying every single time. Just know I'm fighting for it every single time. But it may be a shortage. It might be slow this week. You may be in an area where there's not a lot of loads. So bear with me. Bear with me. We're going to try our best to get you the money. If you make more money, I make more money.
Mm-hmm. J-Mac makes a good point. The dispatcher should be an extension of your business, right? You should almost interview them the way you would interview a full-time employee.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. He on the right track with that.
Juan wants to know if it's possible to explain lumper fees.
Lumper fees. Okay, okay. Just say, for instance, I got a load. I used to do a Piggly Wiggly load. I used to pick up in Delmard. I pick up in Atlanta, Georgia. I take it to Piggly Wiggly. It's a lumper service that's there. Either it's prepaid, meaning someone, the broker or the shipper prepaid for it, or you have to pay an outside company to do it. So when you get there, either it's prepaid or it's not. So if it isn't, you get a lumper check, you get a com check or a T check to pay that lumper service to take it off. Or you do it, but they're not gonna pay you what they pay the lumper service. Or the companies I worked at, they was like, oh, we give you $50 to unload it. But they'll pay the lumper service $3.75.
Right.
I'm like, hold up, I'm not gonna go back there and hurt myself pulling out these Skittles for no $50, man. Like, what in the world?
Right.
But you'll pay, that lumper service $3.75. So I wouldn't do it, but that's how it works when it comes to lumper. So
I wonder why they call it a lumper. It's unloading. It's an unloading fee. So typically, the driver should not have to always unload. They pay a lumper service for unloading.
Yeah, I don't get it either, but I'll make the rules with this stuff anyway. So.
Going back to dispatching, another question. Should you always see the rate cons as a carrier?
Yes.
Always.
Yes. It's my business.
Right.
It's my business to know exactly what that rate con say. Don't tell me, just trust me. That ain't work. Hold up. I thought we was trusting each other when we signed this agreement. Well, if we communicate 100%, let's do it all the way through.
Right.
I don't need you telling me it's 900 and I ain't got time to send all these rate cons all over it. No, send it to me today. That's an agreement. Y'all should do that. Don't have the dispatcher company telling you, I'm not going to show you the rate cons. We've been doing this for 4 years.
What about detention pay? The driver's the one that sits. Does the dispatcher get a piece of the detention?
Well, some of the dispatchers are. They are. I wouldn't call them greedy, but I'm just saying, because the driver sat there the whole time doing the work. All the dispatcher did was grab the paperwork, told the broker, here it is, and make sure you got paid for it.
Well, how do we know the dispatcher isn't fighting on the driver's behalf for that detention?
You can't fight. You can't get a piece of every piece of the pie. This owner-operator got way more overhead than you do. Mm-hmm. He has fuel, tires, trucks, IFTA, road tax.
Are you telling me that good dispatchers leave out detention and layover pay?
They should leave out the detention. Let that driver have it. Let the driver have the layover pay. You didn't go to sleep at that shipper. You was at home and your sleep top bed over there with some comfy covers while he out there in the middle of Timbuktu laying over,
All right.
and you want a piece of the pie?
Well, I got some good friends that are dispatchers. I got to tell you, for all the times that they stay up in the middle of the night when you're broke down and they work 24/7 for you, you telling me that if they call the broker and they negotiate detention or layover pay, that's not, they don't get a piece of that?
It's a part of
they
your
work
job.
for you 24/7 every other day.
They do. At the same time, I look at it like this. I'm doing this. You can't have every piece of the pie. You're getting part of the rate already. You didn't do the layover, and you working 24/7. I'm out here busting my butt up and down this road. I don't want you to have none of my layover pay. I don't want you to have none of my detention. If that's a problem, put that in agreement in the beginning. If that's going to be an issue for y'all, let them know. Yeah, sell yourself. I'll tell the dispatcher, come. This is how you do it. Look, I'm a great driver. I'm going to bust my fanny. But I don't want you to have none of my detention on my layover pay. I need that in agreement. Don't tell me that's what y'all do. That's how y'all do it. Because we fight and we get all the attention every single time. Well, you should get it.
Outlaw agrees with you.
Absolutely. What's up, Outlaw? Yeah, absolutely. I'm doing the hard work. You sitting back and you getting $12 on my detention. And you in there making popcorn in the middle of the day. And I'm backing up to the dock.
Popcorn. They're not making popcorn.
What is
Maybe.
it?
Well,
What, they eating
they gotta
Funyuns
eat
or
too.
something?
Maybe they're snacking while they're finding the great
Yeah.
freight that you're on. You
Okay.
don't know.
Yeah, but you're not getting none of my layover pay on my detention.
I love it. Let's go to a fun question, and we'll go back to dispatchers
Okay.
because let's
Yeah.
break it up a little bit.
Okay.
So during roadside inspections, the FMCSA reports the most frequent vehicle inspection violations are. Can
Okay.
you name one of the top 3 most common vehicle inspection violations?
Okay. Mud flap, light,
Yes.
and
Light.
tire?
We're gonna
Tire?
go. It's lighting, proof of inspections, and then brakes. Brakes.
Oh, yeah, brakes.
Remember a few years ago that was safety week? Brakes
Yeah,
were
they
the
still,
big thing.
Yeah, it was. I think they still
And
kind of
then
do that, don't they?
Last year it was like tires. Yeah, every year. But
Yeah.
they always pick something.
They do. They do.
They
do.
always pick something. All right, this is a good one. If someone's getting into trucking for the first time, what
Okay.
is the best piece of equipment to start with?
Like trucking, or truck
Yes.
or Ooh, I would say Peterbilts are really great. They're more expensive. I always do the analogy like this. You got the Peterbilt, you got the Kenworth. It's like the Cadillac and the Lexus. So those are great cars, right? At the same time, you got a Honda, which I would say is like an international.
Right.
Those are great too. They last long. So it depends on what kind of money you got. You get the Peterbilt, just know you're gonna pay a little bit of money for it. You get the Honda, aka the International, I would go with that. It's less expensive fixing on. I have good experience with them. I would say go with the Internationals.
If you're just starting out, do you lease your truck or do you try to buy your truck?
Buy it. If you are jumping into it, I think buy it. Leasing, I see guys doing leasing.
I hear a lot of people talking about leasing
Well,
trucks right off the bat.
Yeah, I've seen it too. It's a good way to kind of, it's more expensive, but it's a more safer way to say you want to buy out. You could just say, get your truck back and then go on my way.
Right.
It's not a bad idea. I'm always thinking long term, and I'm always saying, I'm going to make it work. What if I'm doing, I'm going to see it through.
Let's talk about let's go back to dispatching.
Okay.
We're going to close it out soon. If anybody's got any questions, please. Harris says Volvo all the way.
Okay.
Outlaw, plastic Peterbilt. Dispatchers, they're doing it from the comforts of their home.
They are.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. They got on their snuggles, and they got the little feet sandals on, what do you call it?
Yeah. Well,
Just living a good life.
correct me.
Almost fighting the rain and the snow.
All right. In talking about that, 40,000 drivers were surveyed.
Okay.
42% of them said when they leave, it's because they leave because of the dispatcher. Why are driver-dispatcher relationships so hard?
Because they feel like they can do the job better than us. But they don't even want to be a dispatcher. And some of them say, oh, you're not listening to me. I am, but you just got a slew of things you want. It's like I look down, it grows from like 5 things to 10 things to 20 things. And by the end of the month, I got like a 30-page essay about what you want from me and how I should give it to you.
Right.
For this 8% that I'm getting off of you. Like, man, I'm jumping through hoops. So a lot of times the drivers feel like they can do my job better than them. Like, okay, hold up, bro. Like, this is hard. And I know I'm giving dispatchers slack, but at the same time, I'm seeing it from both ends. So I get it because I'm a dispatcher and I've driven too. So the drivers think they can do my job and they can do it better. Like, oh man, you don't know what you're doing. I'm like, okay, sure.
Right.
That's why this is your 8th job this year because you feel like you know it all.
What do you think a good rate for a dispatcher is? Like, what's fair to a dispatcher?
A fair rate is 8%. 6 to 8 is a fair number. 10.
6, I mean, I feel like years ago it was much higher. I think it's getting more and more competitive, which is driving
That's
down
what it
that
is.
like
It
6
is.
to 8.
It is.
Because I mean, like I said, I know a lot of dispatchers in this business. It's not easy.
No, it's not. It's not. But it's a lot of people flocking to it. They're like, I can do this from home. I can make a bunch of money.
Right.
So it's driving the race. The quality of dispatchers are not the same no more because you got people who know nothing about trucking jumping into it. So yeah.
Right. All right. Any last thoughts, Delmard? This is awesome. We talked about drivers. We talked about dispatchers and, the hardship for each.
Yes.
And it's tough. And when you're building a dream team, how do you find the right driver? Should you get a dispatcher? How do you find the right dispatcher? Any takeaways? Anything last?
I just want to say to anybody out there who's jumping in trucking and you're having a hard time, look for help, communicate as much as possible. Think longevity when you're doing this thing. It's a lot of money to be made, and it's a lot of money you can lose. Don't let the money motivate you, because at the end of the day, if you do it right and you keep hustling, the money will come. I had to tell myself that too, because I used to get frustrated with the lack of money that came in.
Right.
And I was like, you know what, I'm doing things right, and why am I not seeing the money? But I kept at it. My wife always encouraged me, like, it'll get better. And if you need anything, I'm your fallback person. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to fall back on you, but I just hustled harder, and I try to be clever about what I'm doing. And I always said, what is it that I'm doing that's not helping me be successful? I'm not getting up early enough. I'm not talking enough. I'm not communicating enough. Networking, all these things that help you grow your business. It's just the old-fashioned get out there and figure it out type of thing. If you sit back at home watching your favorite show every single day, this ain't the business for you. This is a hustling type of thing. You're going to have to get out here and grind and network and go get it.
I mean, that's the truth. It's all day, every day, at any time of night. I mean, whether you're a freight broker or you're a dispatcher or you're a driver, freight moves all day, every day. If you consume a good, it was probably on a truck at some point.
Absolutely. And your Skittles.
Yeah. All right, last quick question. Someone came through and said, all right, we talked about the dispatcher rate. What's a driver rate? How do you know, do you pay drivers cost per mile? Do you, a certain amount per week? What are the different ways in which you can pay a driver, and how should you?
We kind of touched on this a lot.
We did
last
touch
video.
this a little bit
Just
last bit. Yep.
Well, yeah, it's based off the experience, and a lot of times I ask them what they were getting paid before. I don't want to I want to overshoot it. If that person's happy with 45 cents, why am I offering 55? What was your last, employer? What were they paying? Okay,
Right.
What do you expect to pay? What's your long-term goals? So I ask those things. So to answer your question, it's based off experience. And where I started, man, like I said in the last video, it's a salary. I do salaries. I kind of get them, okay, at this point you make this, and after so many months you can get this part. And if you meet the quota in this month, you can get a bonus at the end. So everything about experience, that driver hustle. Are you willing to work? Are you ready to bust your butt? You tell me how much money you want to make.
Right.
Because if you want it, I can set you up to get it.
That's awesome, Delmard. Thank you so much. I have one last quick question for you. We've talked about your experience, and you've done it all. What is your favorite role?
Ooh, being an owner, I feel like I do a better job because I'm driven. I do a better job being an owner and just being able to delegate. I'm always thinking about the best routes. I rarely ever dispatch something that the driver can't do. I'm thinking about all of it because I know the driver. I know how long it takes to get from there to there. I know he probably have to scale that load out because he got 4 or 5 scale houses to go through. And the owner part about it, this is what I love because I'm just getting better and better. Just better. And I'm really enjoying the process. I'm enjoying it so much.
Well, we are enjoying talking to you and having you here for these.
Thank
it's
y'all.
always so fun. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Follow us, subscribe to our YouTube live because Delmard will be back.
Yes.
We will be giving away $2,021.
Okay, now.
Follow us on Instagram. You are
Trailer Strong.
and we will see you hopefully very soon. Thank you again for being here tonight, and we'll catch you all later.
See y'all later. Let's go.